First, first thing first, we need to download AngularJS framework. For this particular thing, we have to move the particular website of this framework, which is angularjs.org. So I am already at angularjs.org. So I'll just download this particular thing. So this is the download box. You can select different CD and all this thing, different options available. Current version which is we are going to use is 1.8.2. Okay, so you can either download this particular thing in your PC, or the best solution or best suggestion is to use this CDN link, so by which we can have always updated and direct version from the Google server. So we'll start by using this. This is the very first application which is we are going to develop in AngularJS. So this is the very basic code. Initially, first we need this HTML doc type declaration, which is our HTML5 standard. Now this is the HTML tag, very basic HTML tag. First HTML, now head, body, etc. Now if you'll notice, we have something new related to our this code, which is a ng app. This ng app is actually Angular's way to communicate with this HTML page. It is the root application by which we can have a different Angular code related to our application. So whenever we are going to use this ng app directive, which is known as Angular directive, so by which we can have that particular application uh, have access to Angular library or function, which are we are going to use with the help of this script tag. So we need to have two main thing to include any Angular code or use to Angular framework in our application. First one is this script tag, in which we have to write this full code, and second thing is from whenever we want to use that ng, or ng stand for Angular. So whenever we want to use Angular, we need to include this ng app directive. This directive tells that this is the starting of our this particular application. Like in our C programming or in our Java programming, we have a main function. In the same scenario, this is the root application by which from which this application will run. So ng app is the starting. You can have a specific block connected to your Angular code. So I can have this whole document as a Angular application, or I can use this ng app in this body or this h1 tag, or whenever we want to have. So in this particular scenario, this whole application is Angular application. If I'll move this ng app directive to some another location, so that particular location will be handled by our this Angular code. Okay, so this is the first thing, and this is the very first program, or even the first application which is we are going to run. Second thing, what I have done here, I just use this expression method. In this expression method, if my application has this ng app included, so I can use this double curly braces, by which we can evaluate any JavaScript expression, whatever JavaScript expression we have, it can be evaluated here only. So this 21 plus 29 will be evaluated, and the result of this calculation will be returned to our browser. Okay, so I'm going to run this application. This is the application. You can say this is the result of this application, hello 50. Why hello 50? Because in my code I have written hello, and in curly braces I have written 21 plus 29. So when 21 plus 29 will be evaluated, it will return 50. So if I change something like here, Okay, so we can see the result. This is the change. And what will happen if I'll just remove this ng app directive from our application? What will happen? Let's see. So just I am just removing that particular things. Now I am, so what it happened, that that particular expression, because we don't have a Angular support, so this curly braces, whatever curly braces is written, it is not evaluated by our this framework. So in our plain HTML, whenever we are using h1 tag, so that particular result will be written as it is. So this is the as it is tag, no evaluation, no what is the result, nothing. So here it shows that this particular ng app is required to run any Angular app. This, okay. So this is the first part, like we have covered. The first thing is our directive, Angular directive, which always start with the ng dash and something something. Right now this is the first thing, ng app. Second thing is our expressions. Expression, we can have expression in two way. First one is the easiest way, by which we can use this double curly braces, or the second way, by second way I can use a bind method also. Okay, I'll show that binding to next uh, after a couple of minutes. So right now this is a way. Okay, now I'll show you some different example how we can connect this things to so right now what I am trying to do, I just want to have an input type is equals to text. Okay, and now I am introducing one another Angular directive, or you can say ng directive, which is ng model. So this is ng model, and every ng model is provide a way to connect any provided input, or whatever HTML we are going to use to connect with something. Okay, so every ng model will have some name. So in this particular case, our ng model will have some name. So I am using like mm, name as a uh, say name. Okay, ng model name is equals to name, or we can use some another thing like indoor, whatever. Okay, so there is another facility which is known as a placeholder, by which we can have a, like an introduction text or something in our control. So this enter your name. Okay, now this input is over. Now what I am going to do, what I want to do, like I just want to whenever I type something in this input text box, that particular thing will be replicated in the next block. Say in this block I am having a h2 tag, and in this h2 tag I just want to say you hello, whatever value is inputted in our input control. So in this thing span, now what I told you that I'll introduce some different method to use this curly braces. So right now I am introducing third ng directive, which is ng bind. So we can use ng bind instead of this curly braces. Okay, there is two way, like either you use this curly braces or either you use ng bind. Okay, so I am binding this ng bind this particular location with my this model. Okay, or whatever that particular model, this model will generate whatever value will be connected or binded to this control. So I have to write that name of this model. To that name of this model is your that indoor. So I'm writing that particular name here. Okay, now I have to close this particular thing, so I am closing that is span. Now I have to close this tag also. I'm closing that tag h2. Okay, so what I have done here, I just devise a model which is that particular model is driven by this input tag. So whenever I'll enter something in this input model, which will be like rendered with the help of this ngbind method or ngbind directive, by which we'll have whatever inputted in this particular text box will be written in this particular h2 tag only. Okay, so in this application we have introduced two different directive. First directive is ngapp, which is we have already learned. Second one is like ng model, which I introduced in this um, uh, further tutorial, and this is the ngbind. So I'm just going to run this application. Okay, and I'm just refreshing this application. So this is the code. Okay, this is the whole output what we have written here. Like this is already available. Now with the help of this code, this input type and whatever, this particular input box has been generated. Okay, now with the help of this code, this ngbind code, I just update this hello, whatever I am going to type here. Okay, like hello indoor. Wow. So I just delete. Have you noticed something? Like I have not written a single line of code, and each and everything is automatically getting updated. Like whatever I am writing here is reflecting here. So this is a very good example of the very versatile nature of this Angular framework, AngularJS framework. So we can have a MVC style of programming in which we can have our model we in a separate code, and we have our view in a separate, and our controller in separate layer or channel, whatever. So this is a very basic examples of our uh, Angular JS. Okay, so thank you.